all right then. Sorry about the face in the screen there. So the visiting cat has gone home. Lily came and picked her up yesterday. And the minute we got her, like, I felt bad for her because I literally had to get down on the floor, haul her out from underneath the little lounge. And then Lily had wrapped her up in her t-shirt and put her in her little carry case. And as soon as we got her in the carry case, she started to cry. And apparently she yelled at Lillian the whole way home. Lily picked her up a little around 2, and she yelled at Lily until about 8 o'clock at night. So, and then after that, she was done, and she went and cuddled Lilia. So I think she was just glad to be. She just had to let Lily know she's pissed. So, and now my boys are like, but what's going on? Where did the other one go? Because they would come in here and stare at her. But yeah, so the visiting cat has gone home. And we have 2 essays left. We are doing happiness today, and then the last one's called meditation. It literally may be a meditation. I'm not sure. So let's do the housekeeping and then get on with this. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelife.org. The constant contact email is info@creativelife.org. You get 1 email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month, unless something unusual happens. I will point out, we do live in hurricane country. And then the hot links are hot, and it's a blind CC, meaning nobody's going to see your emails. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. And Jesse's not going to sell your email either, so don't worry about that. He's very proprietary over his email list. All right. And then the social media, and I merely mentioned them because we don't monetize them. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is to like, subscribe, follow the pages, based on which platform you're on, and then engage with the individual posts. So react to the post, comment on the post, share the posts. We would appreciate it, and bumps us in the algorithms. So there's that. Oh, and by the way, what I'm gonna do next is your spiritual power, which is a collection of inspirational writing. Apparently, some of them aren't even in the, published. What it looks like, I don't know. How that's gonna, I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we'll start that on Thursday. Okay. So living the science of mind. Like I said, we have 2 essays left. I've started calling this the frequently asked questions, the FAQ, because that's exactly what it is. It is. I mean, if you go read what the internet says about it, it's Ernest Holmes' commentary on his seminal work, The Science of Mind textbook. Yeah. I think people had questions. They would read the textbook. They would come to the lectures. They had questions. So eventually it became an at-home course. It was in the back of the magazine. You would mail off for it. They'd mail you a lesson a week for 48 weeks. Well, eventually they bound that into 6 books and then pulled a bunch of the essays to put into this. If you're interested in the at-home course, where these essays came from, go to the Science of Mind Archives website. And go to their books available and use their Amazon link. And I tell you that because if you use the archives Amazon link, they get some of the money. Great way to support the archives, which Reverend Kathy, works really hard on that. So, all right, that should be everything. Then let's get on with this before I yawn, which is exactly what I'm about to do. And it's not because I'm tired, because I took a nap yesterday. I had Labor Day off and did not labor. It was great. Okay, so our title today is Happiness. Your guess is as good as mine. So let's see what he has to say about happiness. And he starts off with, do you wish to be happy? This is a foolish question, for who would not be happy? Someone has said that we used to think we had to live well in order to be happy, but now we know that we must be happy if we wish to be well. Happiness must be based on an inward sense of security, a sense of belonging to life and to each other, a desire to give, to be kind and compassionate, and to be able to put ourselves in another's position, which, by the way, is called empathy. And it is not a sin, regardless of what rich people say. Most of our unhappiness come from relationships with others. If we cannot be happy unless some other individual or some group of individual admires us and loves us, we have not yet realized that every person is complete within themselves. Ooh. That's a very important point. For when we reach back to the true self, which is God in us, we shall have penetrated the innermost depths of all people. Happiness is never external. Happiness is an inside job. I've seen it said that way, and I really do like that. Happiness is an inside job. Okay, so happiness is never external. Wow. All the money in the world will not make a person happy. The highest position of dignity or trust cannot make one happy. Jesus stated it this way: for what shall profit a person if they shall gain the whole world and lose their own soul? That's Mark 8:36, if you're curious. Of course, he was not referring to any actual loss of the soul, because the soul is the incarnation of the spirit within. Hid with Christ in God means that we trace the human back to its divine source, which is God, and rest in the security of being enfolded in infinite love, wisdom, and kept by an infinite law of good. It is true that we cannot be well unless we are mentally and emotionally happy. To a much greater extent than we realize, the physical body reflects our mental attitude. And there actually is a lot of research on that now. I don't know where all of it came from, but some of it did come out of the cancer research. And the attitude has a lot to do with how you fare in cancer treatments. And I don't just mean people who are happy. People who are angry and want to fight do well too. So, our emotions do definitely affect our physical body. Our food neither digests nor assimilates properly when we are filled with unhappiness and fear. The stream of life flows fully and freely from the innermost recesses of our being only when we are happy. Children are happy because they have not yet learned to be afraid. There can be no happiness where fear is. Ooh. And then we have it looks like a poem. Blessed the children playing on the shore, to them belongs the pipe of Pan. The songs of surf and waves uproar, the fog, the wind, and the freckled tan. No thought of care, no gain to reap, nor fear of darkness, dread of night, no dream of turmoil in their sleep. Their evening star shines clear and bright, with hearts filled with happy zest and joy for what the new day will bring. They lay them down in peace to rest. At morn for them the lark will sing. They hail the day with wild delight. Their feet in naked gladness shone. Their eyes with wonder gleaming bright, for of such is the kingdom of God. Interesting. Okay, I don't know if Ernest wrote that poem or if he's quoting somebody else, because it doesn't say. That's really interesting. Well did Jesus say that we must become as a little child if we would discover the kingdom of happiness. The child expects its parents to meet its needs, provide for its comfort, and to give it love. We are all children, not so much of a larger size as of a broader experience. There is a little child inside each one of us, a child just emerging from the unknown, meeting experiences, learning how to live. But too often, the spontaneous joy is pressed back into the unconscious, where it still seeks self-expression, which has been denied. Okay. Why should we have been so cold? Why should we have to be so cold and indifferent, harsh and critical, or so troubled over living? It is because the child has been crucified on the cross of negative experience. Ooh, Okay, that's a turn of phrase. And now we must retrace our steps because the child in us will not be denied. The spontaneous joy of the child playing on the shore, the gladness of meeting the new day, and with the expectation of pleasure, and the quiet peace of rest at night, untroubled by inward conflicts. These are what we all long for. We must regain this lost ground if we are to have happiness, security, and peace. This is what faith does for us. It makes no difference what form it takes as long as it is sincere. But even here, the clearance will not be complete if we continue to worry over the question of salvation and the ultimate well-being of the soul. This, too, must have a clearance, a redemption, and a new birth. This is why Jesus told us that we must be born again, that we must become as little children. Is it so hard, then, for the intellect to give up its vast accumulation of false knowledge based on the concept of separation from the original source of its being? Somewhere along the line, we shall be called on to make this surrender and again become as children. Our attempt to become happy will be futile without this. It matters not what we possess or what ambitions we entertain. We are so constituted that we are incomplete until we consciously unite ourselves with that which is whole and perfect. Can we learn to surrender all of our doubts and fears, our uncertainties and forebodings, and live our lives with enthusiasm, expectancy, and confidence? I venture to say that, could we learn to do this, our inner conflicts would dissipate themselves. Our prophetic feelings of evil would vanish, and we should be at peace with God, with ourselves, and with others. Okay. All right, Ernest. Now, Ernest did not put this book together, I don't think. No, he didn't. I know he didn't, because there's a thing in there from an author to end it like that. And what I like is that the way Ernest wrote that, he wasn't completely there himself. He's like, if we could do this, not if you could do this, because I've already done it. It's if we could do this. So he's right there with us. He understands, it's like, look. And that's the thing, is we can make that surrender as many times as we need to. It's like every time we backslide, we can go back and go, no, I know who I am. Let me remember who I am. Let me recognize that I am unified with the source of my own being. Because the truth is, we're always unified with the source of our own being. We create the illusion of separation. And that's what we need to surrender. We need to surrender that illusion of separation and go back to being consciously unified. And that's why I like to say it when I do the closing prayer on Sundays. It's all sacred all the time. We are always connected to the divine. It's when we make it conscious. That is the work. That is the work, to make that connection conscious. And if we could do that all the time, or at least more than not, according to him, we'd be happy. And I will tell you that I am happier than I am not. Am I happy 100% of the time? No. I'm a human being. Oh, okay. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, and stuff happens, and I get to have, and that's it. I get to have the full range of human emotion, but then I also get to decide what I'm going to do about it, and if there's nothing I can do about it, then I can at least decide how I'm going to feel about it. And then I remember that there's always something that I can do about it. Because if there's nothing else that I can do about it, then I get to treat about it. I get to pray about it. And that opens me up to the possibilities of some action that I can take. And Arthur was right. you got to take action. What did he say? The decision plus visualization plus action equals creation. There it is. There it is. That's what treatment does. Treatment opens us up to that action. All right. Yep, that's it. I'm going to move on into the process of my day. So now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. Take charge of your day. Be as a little child day. Let go of the nonsense day. Do what you gotta do day. You got this day. Cuddle your fur babies day. Tell somebody you love them day. And look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself day. Explore the truth of your being day. Recognize that the separation is an illusion day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, I get it, simply have a day. You are enough. Just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time at your own pace. Very important part of that statement. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. Okay? So explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. Because the divine knows you to be good. It's all the divine knows. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds, we have one left. Just one, and it's a short one. That's it. And we are done with the Living the Science Mind. So, take care of yourself. Sorry. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you. We'll finish up tomorrow and then move on. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.